In the fog of love, I'm struggling out of the shadows of a bad boyfriend, deciding to give myself a chance to be reborn. I said, oh man, this is good news for the family. Mistakes happen, right? I will forget. And then he said he's beginning to spiral around in the whirlpool of love. He just sneaked away quietly. What a master of stealth. Nick's heart ached for this poor woman, but we might not be the best duo. I thought about it, talking about careers, families, and then jumping into the absurdity of love. The vibe became awkward as they locked eyes for a few seconds. Time seemed to freeze. Suddenly, a ringing phone sounded like thunder, breaking the delicate atmosphere. Ella hurried to answer, and Nick slipped away. Unlike those guys who just wait around, Nick sees the moment starting to play. The beautiful piano music instantly caught Ella's attention, but just as she got close, Nick suddenly stopped playing faster than a magic trick. In the melody, Ella accidentally kissed Nick, but that kiss was shorter than lightning. She snapped back to reality. About this sudden emotion, Ella was worried sick, fearing she might drown in it, but Nick, on the other hand, was full of passion, enchanted by Ella's mature and charming allure. She smartly placed the watch on the table, dropping hints for their next meetup. Just as Nick disappeared, her daughter came back trailing behind. Ella felt a tightness in her chest and quickly tidied up her hair. But her daughter's eagle eyes had already seen through it all, and after a few half-hearted words, Ella discovered the watch that Nick had left behind. One morning, she was taking her daughter to summer camp. The world revolved around her daughter, now peaceful. But for Nick, this peace was a rare opportunity. Sure enough, Nick texted her, and the messages floated down like cherry blossoms. Each one carried Nick's thoughts and concerns for Ella, and she felt a ripple of curiosity rising, seizing the chance to crazily search for everything about this guy. His graceful posture and confident smile had Ella weak in the knees. Looking at the watch in her hand, she decided to go wild one more time, using the excuse of returning the watch to hop on a plane to New York. Though her initial intent was simply to return the watch, she dressed like she was preparing for a grand romantic date. Even the bodyguards were drawn to her beauty. Gazing at the woman he adored, Nick's joy surged like a tidal wave, and no words could describe his feelings. On that cozy night, they shared a dreamy time together at the hotel. However, good times are always fleeting. Nick was about to head to Europe for a tour, filling her with reluctance. But he made a bold choice to bring Ella along. As Ella voiced her many worries and excuses, Nick patiently addressed each one, while Ella boldly expressed her true feelings. Since Nick was so determined, Ella decided to let go of her worries and bravely follow Nick as his art advisor. She made her grand debut in the spotlight, and during the long journey, Nick and Ella's eyes seemed to be connected by invisible threads. Thus, Nick began a sweet time of dating while working, and when night fell, they would raise their glasses together. They shared bright dreams of the future, and on rainy nights, they laughed and chased each other like ordinary couples. Ella's confident smile always tugged at Nick's heartstrings, but during an unexpected date, their intimate moments were unfortunately caught by paparazzi, forcing them to hide at the quiet vacation spot. They hoped to relax here, but this vacation turned out to be the first test for the relationship. The girls by the pool were dressed daringly, showing off their youth and vitality, making Ella feel a bit awkward in comparison. Knowing she couldn't compete with these beautiful younger girls, she chose to play it safe. However, this choice made her stand out even more in the crowd. During the conversation, the atmosphere became tense, and their words hinted at her being a cougar. However, at the very moment when the conversation shifted to how they had met, an unanticipated truth quietly emerged, causing Ella to instantly feel embarrassed. Wasn't it said that that song was Nick's special love confession intended for her? But that turned out not to be the case, making her feel insulted and hurt. She stood up and returned to the room, Nick trailing behind her. She admitted the truth, but also expressed her genuine feelings for Ella. From the moment he found her, seeds of love had been sown in his heart. However, no matter how Nick explained himself, Ella wouldn't listen, deciding never to trust his sweet talk again. Ella's heart was tangled in the pain and disappointment she couldn't shake off, while Nick, eyes brimming with tears, said that things had come to a point of no return. So they bid farewell, and Ella quietly placed Nick's watch down, symbolizing the severed ties. But when Ella returned home, she discovered a surprise gift, a painting she had always cherished. which she had only mentioned once in the warehouse. She never imagined he had remembered and promptly bought it for her. Staring at the painting, Ella's emotions swirled, touched yet anxious over past marriage failures. A few days later, a morning text broke her peace. He texted, warning her to stay offline, piquing her curiosity. Despite hesitation, Ella acknowledged the relationship. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Join us in this romantic tale filled with laughter and tears.